What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? We got a good one for you today. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. We're going to take a walk down memory lane. We're going back to the early 90s, and we're talking And1. You all remember the And1 streetball, the And1 Mixtape Live Tour. I remember tuning in to ESPN2, catching the docuseries. It was the hottest thing out there. Some of the best street ballers across the country became a part of this tour, and one of those guys is all grown up now. 38-year-old Grayson, the professor, Boucher, he was able to sit down on the Pivot podcast with the fellas and kind of give his side of how he became part of that tour. And he was only 18 years old when he got hooked up with And1. And he talked about his experience and how the popularity of streetball in that And1 Mixtape Tour, how it took off and took a lot of those guys by surprise. He had a lot of good things to say. Here's a little bit of what the professor said on the Pivot podcast.
Coming into And1, I was just a fan, you know, Hot Sauce, Headache, AO, Ali Mo, all these guys, they like shaped my game more than NBA players, or just as much as Iverson, you know, so I just went up there as a fan, you know what I mean, and tried out. Next thing I know, a crowd going crazy. For me, it was just a dream come true that night when I first got there. Like, I almost felt like I didn't belong in their circle socially. So I was just trying to enjoy the ride. I was super quiet, you know, just trying to basically learn too, you know what I mean? Like learn the ropes, how to approach a game. And then when I got on the And1 team, that was kind of a hard figure out because the way they played, right? I never played that fast. Like I had my own speed at showtime, but it wasn't quite that fast. They played like an NBA, you know, it's like a college player, you get an NBA run, your head's spinning, right? You dang, this game fast tracked. And then it was funny, we were like celebrities overnight. First contract I signed maybe was like between 60 to 80K, something like that. And then it would always go up 10 or 20K as we went along. I know the last deal I signed was like 200K, 250K or something. And it would go year by year. Yeah. Because the pinnacle of the popularity was probably like the year I tried out or the year after. And then it kind of like went slowly down from there. But we made more and more money, funny enough. And then the company got bought out 2006, but it was bought out by some people that really didn't know much about basketball, much less street ball. Yeah. And they brought in people to head up the branding from like Reebok and Adidas. But these cats they're not into street ball. Like they didn't really know that was the DNA. I think they knew it was the DNA, but they wanted to like expand. But I felt like since the brand had already been kind of going down, it wasn't the time to expand into other things, you know what I mean? It got to the point where really there was no gigs. When street ball was over, it like dried up. Cause I remember even AI, they called that crossover a carry. And that changed basketball altogether right then. People didn't really know it unless you were in it, but no more street ball exhibition games. No endorsement, obviously. No commercials, no nothing. It was like, I'm trying to figure out how do I start training kids? Like, what do I do here? But what I did was I sold those jerseys. I started my YouTube channel.
Now the professor says that was one of the best times in his life, and he had fell on some financial difficulties there for a second. He actually did go broke and would have to sell some of his And1 jerseys on eBay just to make ends meet. But now he's doing a whole lot of different things. He's a born-again Christian. He became a Christian in 2011. And life is good for him as of right now. So it was definitely good to hear from the professor. You know, I remember a lot of those guys, Hot Sauce and Alamo and Half Men, Half Amazing, Escalade, all those names bring back some memories. So again, look back in time, and if you haven't checked it out, there is a Netflix documentary on the And1 streetball and mixtape live tour and the popularity rise and fall of it. So go check that out on Netflix if you haven't already. Make sure you leave a comment below and like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm Kendrick. You all have a good one. We'll see you on the other side. I'm out. Deuces.